There are three unconscious things that we all bring into our relationships that have a huge impact and can alter the success of having a healthy relationship. And those three things are the relationship with your mom, the relationship with your dad, and how their relationship was when they were together. I'm gonna break this down from a licensed therapist perspective. And I also want to hear from y'all in the comments. Do you guys feel like the relationship you had with your mom, your dad, or how their relationship ended up ever had an impact on your relationship? What's good, y'all? My name is Terrence, Stewart, licensed therapist, and I'm your men's mental health expert. Now, I want to bring up this topic because this is very important when we talk about the success of a relationship and how the subconscious mind works in our relationships. Now, our subconscious thoughts are thoughts that we have on a regular basis. These are thoughts that are deep rooted into our biology, is deep rooted in our core beliefs, is deep rooted into our emotions, and sometimes it's really deep rooted in how we respond and react to the world as things are thrown to us. Now, three things to consider is: what is the relationship with your mom? What is the relationship with your dad? And how did their relationship turn out? Now, with your relationship with your mom, even when you're in a relationship, fellas, you end up dating somebody that's like your mom, and ladies, you end up dating somebody that's like your dad. And we always wonder, like, why is that? Is it because, like, that's the type of man we like, or that's the type of man we want? But you can also not have a good relationship with your mom and end up dating somebody like your mom, or not have a good relationship with your dad and end up having a relationship with somebody that resembles your dad. This doesn't always fall into the healthy components of a relationship because, again, if you're dating somebody that resembles your mom and you have some trauma and some unhealed things that aren't reconciled, same with your father. If you're dating somebody that resembles your father and you don't like your father and you have some trauma and unhealed things in that area, that's going to impact your relationship. But typically, when we talk about your mother and your mother, typically for men, that's usually the first woman that ever shows us love. And that's what usually attracts men to date somebody that is like their mother. Even in the toxic trait your mother may have had, there may still be things that you're just adaptive and used to. Like if your mother wasn't really affectionate, she didn't really show emotion, or she had to be the head and the tail in the household because the father was absent, that's going to have an impact on what type of women you like, because you're going to see that as being the woman that you essentially fell in love with. Now, on the other side with women, sometimes with the Black family, historically, the father usually isn't as present as the mother. So this can have an impact on how women view and see men. Is a man supposed to be there? Or there may not be any real concrete blueprint on how a man should treat a woman because the man was absent from the family. And that becomes very complex because if the man is not in the household, there is no real role model on how a healthy man with a healthy mindset should be able to take care of their family. Now, this also ties into what type of man you may be looking for. You may be trying to seek somebody that maybe is non-existent. There is possibilities in where if the parent was absent from the household, you typically would gravitate towards what you feel or think or what society says that man or woman should be doing in your life. For example, if the father was absent from the household, you don't really have a real clear vision on what does it look like for a man to be in the household raising their children. So typically what you may resort towards is, what does social media say about that? What does this movie I watched or this show I watched, or what does it look like for a man not to be involved in the family? Or maybe I just don't need a man for nothing because my mom did it. So why can't I do it on my own as well too? I can raise a single family because my mom was able to do it. But understanding that there are points in which having both parents in the household can be beneficial, and sometimes when there's an absence of a parent in the household, and that is very detrimental to knowing, like, how does somebody really know what a healthy relationship really is if they never really have seen it? Which leads to the other point is, what was the relationship and the dynamic between your mother and your father? Your mother and your father may have been together for some years, may have been married, they may have been divorced, or may, just been co-parenting or whatever it may have been. But that has an impact on how you view your relationship. So for example, if your parents were married and had a healthy relationship, you have grown up with the possibility of knowing that, hey, there is a possibility that, you know, marriage can work. If you have grown up in a household where your parents got divorced, you probably would think like, well, marriage didn't work out for them, so why is it going to work out for me? And also too, if your parents weren't really together, didn't really have a good relationship like that and never were married, or however that may have planned out, you're going to look at relationships not really being like, okay, well, what does the family structure look like? You may be thinking like the family structure is more like a single parent household instead of a dual parent household. All these different things you have to take into consideration when you're seeking to be in a romantic relationship. If you're seeking to be married or you're seeking to start dating, how is the relationship with your mom? How's the relationship with your dad? And how is their relationship going to be impacting how you view the world and what your potential standards are in seeking somebody to start dating? I encourage you guys to really take in consideration a lot of these different things because this can help you develop healthy relationships. Because if you go into this subconsciously having these thoughts without really addressing them or putting to the forefront, they're going to come out in different ways in terms of which you may feel like you may never ever be able to be in a healthy relationship. So these are thoughts that you feel like may have not bothered you. For example, if you grew up in a single parent household, but you strive and seek to have a family of your own, you may still have some beliefs around single parent households and how that can be successful, which is going to lessen your chances of actually being in a relationship and building a family with somebody else. So working out through those things, most definitely, therapy is one way that can be helpful. Talking to somebody about these things. I have some resources in my bio. My practice, ShiftWise Wellness, is accepting clients in California and Texas. So if you guys are interested, most definitely click the links down below so you can get the help that you deserve. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Y'all take care. Peace.